Hi everyone, Booker DeWitt here with Rhyme Signatures, the nerdiest music review this side of getting baptised, setting up a floating city in the sky, and ultimately getting killed by yourself from another branching reality in a convoluted web of intrigue and metaphors. And today we're going to be doing a review of the new Dirt Poor Robins album, Firebird. I can remember during awards season of 2022, I came across an album called Queen of the Night, as was recommended to me by the ever-reliable guru of excellent advice, Nathan on Shuffle. I was in truth slightly annoyed, as this album came at me while I was balls deep in finalising my year-end list, and I was finally happy with the positioning of everything. Queen of the Night nearly shattered weeks of hard work and careful planning, as I absolutely, ruinously adored it, and it so very nearly upset the apple cart of my year-end list. I fumed and seethed and gnashed my teeth, but I couldn't stay too mad, as the sheer excellence of the music on offer within this record soothed whatever frustrations I might have been having at the time. But I eventually resigned myself to shelving Queen of the Night, relegating it to the best album of 2022 that didn't appear on my year-end list, but with a determination that whenever Dirt Poor Robins would re-emerge and release something new, I would give it the attention and scrutiny that it truly deserved. Described as a theatrical, cinematic singer-songwriting rock band, Dirt Poor Robins is the love child of Neil and Kate DeGrade, and represents a considerable undertaking from them both, having created a whole fictional universe for their music, as well as multiple concept albums set within this universe, and a short film that accompanied 2022's Queen of the Night. Dirt Poor Robins are nothing if not ambitious with their sounds and ideas. Now, it's difficult to classify and truly categorise their music, but I suppose progressive rock is about as good as a catch-all as it gets. But their music integrates elements of pop music, electronica, hard rock, musical theatre, vaudeville, and many other things to create something that feels singular to them, but is easy to recommend to fans of bands like, The Deer Hunter, HMLTD, Closure in Moscow, and Will Wood. Queen of the Night was a wonderful slice of their eccentricities, really pushing out that vaudeville vibe, giving off the impression of a black and white 1920s big band playing progressive rock far beyond their time. I absolutely loved it, and still regularly spin this when I need something quirky, cheerful, playful, and effortlessly entertaining. So given that this record had such a massive and positive impact on me, you can probably imagine that the incoming Firebird was riding high on my anticipation list. Now, I'm not going to keep you in any suspense with this review. Firebird is an absolute triumph, one of the most entertaining records I've heard in years, and manages to make itself sufficiently different from Queen of the Night so that the band sounds fresh and rejuvenated, but not so different as to alienate people like me who fell in love with them from that record. So what's the main difference here? Honestly, it's more mood than it is anything else. Whereas Queen of the Night was quite a whimsical and playful record with tracks like Enchanté and Come Take a Trip in My Airship really pushing forth a more bombastic and theatrical agenda, Firebird is altogether a more sober and introspective affair. Songs like Cry Wolf, Beauty Will Save the World, Empty, and the title track itself all give more cause for the listener to empathise and reflect on the characters and stories within these tracks. This isn't to say that it's all doom and gloom, though. There's plenty of scope for joy and frivolity, as is evidenced through tracks like To the Heights, Holy Roller, and Fever Dream, which show that the band are still just as cheeky and playful as ever. It's the juxtaposition of these moods which makes Firebird such a memorable listen, and what's kept me spinning this one every single day since it came out. The album was released in dribs and drabs over the last 12 months or so, with the first 6 songs forming the EP of Prelude to Firebird, but I had resisted the temptation to listen to anything prior to the release of the album proper, so everything here was brand new to me, and I got the joy of experiencing the full, undiluted experience from start to finish. I kinda want to do a song-by-song breakdown in this review, so let's get to it. The album opens with the anthemic and cynical banger of Political. Big, booming, echoing drums signal the start of something dark and sinister as aggressive orchestrations segue into sultry, swagger-fueled vocals from Kate DeGrade. The chorus is catchy, chantable, and certain to remain lodged in your head for the rest of the year. The track dips and dives, growing in power and sincerity as everything culminates in what feels like a true protest song for the world we live in. It's a fantastic opening number and does a great job of setting the mood for the whole album. Crywolf follows up, allowing Neil to take the lead on vocals early on before Kate comes back in, and it's a swirling, morose, reflective piece that has some stellar lyricism and helps to emphasise the demure mood of the album compared to the record that came before this. It's a great demonstration of how well the band have handled an increased maturity in their songwriting and haven't simply rested on their laurels. There's even some little hints of Devin Townsend to some of the vocal delivery as Neil and Kate trade off against each other, and it's honestly nothing short of spellbinding. Third track of You'll Never Hear It Coming embraces a more synthwave 80s style, with some massive gated drums, driving guitars and electric keyboards. This is the kind of chic of the era that's actually aged incredibly well, eschewing the usual associated cheese of the time period and embracing everything that made 80s music so memorable and interesting. It's a real sunglasses at night, driving the open-top convertible down a Californian freeway kind of song. It's a massive jam that's impossible to sit still to. Fever Dream kicks in with a melodic and immediately engaging guitar riff that wouldn't feel out of place from an early 2000s rock band like Franz Ferdinand or the Kaiser Chiefs. It's big, it's punchy, sultry and sexy, and it's an early favourite. Neil's vocals are fantastic here, feeling plaintive and full of swagger and attitude. Chorus is big, it's swingy and infectious, and then the main riff rolls around again and I cannot stop smiling. The longest song on the album is Beauty Will Save the World, and it manages to pack a lot of depth and emotion into its 6-minute runtime. It's not afraid to take its time, allowing the song a lot of breathing space and scope to really get going. It's a slow burn, beautiful ballad, really showcasing the range and breadth of Kate's immaculate vocals. When we reach To the Heights though, I'm in the mood to let loose and have some fun, which is helpful as that's exactly what this song provides. If there is any justice in the world whatsoever, this song should be cracking the top spot of the global top 40. It's one of the most addictive, enjoyable and relentless pop songs I've ever heard, with a stomping chorus, incredible vocals and a ripping guitar solo that really sits as the cherry on top of one of my favourite songs of 2024 so far. If you listen to one song off this album, make sure it's this one because frankly, damn! I feel that All at Once is the only minor misstep on the album, and while there's nothing wrong with the song at all, it feels a little disjointed and lacks the impact that almost every other song on the album carries. It's sombre and introspective and dripping in atmosphere with powerful melodies, but for me it lacks that extra little bit of bite that otherwise similar tracks on the album carry. Still great, but more like an 8 out of 10 on an album full of 10 out of 10s. Holy Roller picks things up very quickly though, feeling like another certified pop rock music banger, with another incredible chorus and infectious energy running through its core. It's difficult to sit still for this one, and it's certain to go onto a Summer Vibes playlist for me in the very near future. It kind of weirdly reminds me a little bit of Connection by Elastica, and it serves as a fantastic adrenaline shot in the arm. The next track, So Long to Yesterday, is a clear favourite for me, giving me cause to draw connection to The Sermon and the Silt by the Deer Hunter and Elton John's Benny and the Jets. The narrative flow and structure of the song is what piqued my interest, but it's the fascinating off-kilter vocal melodies that kept me staying around. The delivery of What Can We Say, They're Happy Ever After turned out to be a total disaster, The Past is Passé, So Long to Yesterday, is among some of my favourite vocal stylings across the band's entire discography, and it makes me grin like an idiot every single time I hear it. I'm in truth utterly obsessed with this song, and I think I'd happily call it the best track off the album. The orchestrations, the dervish-like crowds, the preacher-like fanaticism of the vocal hooks, it's absolutely punishingly brilliant, and I'm completely besotted with it. Now this brings us into the final furlong, and Empty is a brilliant thematic come down from the frenzy of So Long to Yesterday. It's a heartbreakingly innocent ballad, full of pain, grief and sorrow, and the jamboree of what came before really helps this one to stick like a lump in your throat. A powerful song and a real tearjerker. There's some parts of this song that feel melodically like Dream Theater's The Astonishing, but, you know, in a really good way. The final two-hit combo of The Imperishables leading into the title track of Firebird is what completely overwhelmed me on my first and many subsequent listens, though. The former sets the scene, brings up the house lights to illuminate us all before the title track closes the album out in an epic and climactic fashion. I cannot understate how hard this final song hit me. The choral work, the violins, the crescendos and finality of it all is absolutely spine-chilling. This is one of those songs where within the first 30 seconds I can feel my soul leave my body and sail off into the night sky to embrace the beauty of the starlight. It's absolutely stellar, a massive reward and spectacular payoff to the entire album. The chorus is massive, enriching, and this is certain to be regarded as one of the best closing tracks of the year. So, What else can I say about Dirt Poor Robin's Firebird? In case you hadn't got the gist of it already, I'm absolutely, completely infatuated with this album. I've not had a record engage with me this quickly and this powerfully in quite some time, with the possible exception of another album that I'm currently in the process of reviewing. Spoilers. It's hard to say who this album is for, though. It's a thoroughly creative, entirely maximalist experience that I don't think will necessarily gel with everyone, but if you're in the mood for something equal parts playful and introspective, with a healthy dash of theatricality and vaudeville to it, then I can't imagine anything better than Firebird. This is a strong recommendation to get a physical copy, if the band runs any pressings of it, that is. I'm extremely keen to have this on vinyl, hint hint, so any support you guys can offer the band may hopefully end up with that being a reality someday. I mean, I can dream at least. Firebird is a strong album of the year contender and certain to feature in my top 10 by the time 2024 rolls to a close. Queen of the Night might have missed out on a feature, but I feel confident when I say that Firebird has a very real shot at the top spot. Please don't skip this album, it's genuinely spectacular and I'm really struggling to stop listening to it. This, guys, is all, of course, my opinion, as you know, so if you have listened to Firebird, please tell me what you thought of this record in the comments down there. If you did like this video, please do give it a thumb, please do share it around with anyone else who you think would possibly enjoy it, and please, as always, do consider subscribing to the channel for more content. My link tree will be left down below where you'll find all the various places to find me on social media, so please do drop me a follow if you're interested in finding out what it is exactly that I get up to outside of YouTube. But until next time, guys, as always, keep your rhyme signatures extremely odd.